Picture a realm of eternal shadows, where the whispers of departed souls echo through cavernous halls, and the living dare not tread. This was the domain of Hades, god of the underworld, known for his stern demeanor, unwavering justice, and command over the unseen. Hades was one of the most feared and misunderstood gods in Greek mythology. His helm of darkness, granting invisibility to its wearer, was a symbol of his power over the hidden world beneath our feet. Hades' tale begins with the same tumultuous family drama that shaped his brothers Zeus and Poseidon. Born to the Titans Cronus and Rhea, Hades was swallowed whole by his father, who feared a prophecy that his children would overthrow him. Hades spent his early years in the dark confines of the Titan's stomach, an experience that would shape his character and prepare him for his future role. The liberation of Hades and his siblings marked the beginning of a great war against the Titans, known as the Titanomachy. In this decade-long conflict, Hades proved to be a formidable warrior and strategist. His helm of darkness, crafted by the Cyclops as a gift for his aid, allowed him to move unseen among the enemy, sowing confusion and fear. After their triumph, the world was divided among the three brothers. While Zeus claimed the heavens and Poseidon the seas, Hades was given dominion over the underworld. Some might view this as a grim fate, but Hades embraced his role with a sense of duty and purpose that would come to define him. The underworld was vast and complex, encompassing not just the realm of the dead, but also the earth's hidden riches, precious metals and gems that lay beneath the surface. This dual aspect of his domain made Hades not just the ruler of the dead, but also the god of wealth, known to the Romans as Pluto. As lord of the underworld, Hades' power was immense and multifaceted. His word was law in his realm, and even other gods hesitated to challenge his authority there. With a wave of his hand, he could summon the dead, command the very earth to open up, or reveal veins of gold and silver hidden in the depths. His helm of darkness wasn't just a tool of war, but a symbol of the mystery and inevitability of death itself. The geography of Hades' realm was as complex as its ruler. The gates of the underworld were guarded by the fearsome three-headed dog, Cerberus, ensuring that the dead remained in their realm, and the living did not enter unbidden. Rivers of significance flowed through his kingdom, each playing a crucial role in the journey of souls. The Styx, river of hatred, formed the boundary between the world of the living and the dead. The Acheron, river of sorrow, was where Charon, the grizzled boatman, ferried souls across, but only if they could pay the toll. Unlike his tempestuous brother Poseidon, Hades was known for his even temper and sense of justice. He was stern but fair, treating all souls equally regardless of their status in life. This impartiality made him both respected and feared among gods and mortals alike. In life, the wealthy and powerful might escape earthly justice, but in Hades' court, all souls faced the same judgment. The ancient Greeks were often reluctant to speak Hades' name directly, fearing that doing so might draw his attention. Instead, they referred to him by epithets such as the Rich One or the Hospitable, hoping to gain his favor through flattery. This reluctance to name him is one reason why we have fewer myths about Hades compared to other Olympian gods. Perhaps the most famous myth involving Hades is the abduction of Persephone, daughter of Demeter, the goddess of agriculture. Struck by Eros' arrow, Hades fell deeply in love with the young goddess of spring. In a rare moment of impetuosity, he erupted from the earth in his chariot, drawn by 4 magnificent black horses, and carried Persephone off to the underworld. Demeter, distraught at her daughter's disappearance, neglected her duties, causing crops to wither and the first winter to descend upon the earth. As famine threatened to destroy humanity, Zeus was forced to intervene. He decreed that Persephone must return to the world above, a ruling that reveals much about Hades' character. Despite his power and status as one of the elder Olympians, Hades complied with Zeus' decree, but not before offering Persephone pomegranate seeds to eat. This clever move ensured that Persephone would have to return to the underworld for part of each year, as anyone who ate the food of the dead was bound to return. Some versions of the myth say Hades tricked Persephone into eating the seeds, while others suggest she ate them willingly, having grown to love the god of the underworld. The resolution of the Persephone myth showcases several key aspects of Hades' character. His initial abduction of Persephone was rash and selfish, more in line with the behavior of gods like Zeus or Poseidon. However, his subsequent actions, complying with Zeus' decree while finding a clever way to ensure Persephone's return, demonstrate his respect for cosmic law and his strategic mind. Hades' relationship with Persephone evolved into one of the more stable and complex partnerships among the Greek gods. As queen of the underworld, Persephone ruled alongside Hades, often tempering his harsh judgments with mercy. Their union represented the cyclical nature of life, death, and rebirth, mirroring the changing seasons in the world. Unlike his brothers Zeus and Poseidon, who were notorious for their numerous affairs, Hades was rarely unfaithful to his wife. This faithfulness set him apart from most other Greek gods and goddesses, making his marriage to Persephone one of the more stable divine unions in mythology. However, even Hades was not immune to temptation. The myth of Minth, a nymph who caught Hades' eye, shows that even the king of the underworld could be swayed by beauty. According to the myth, Hades was attracted to Minthe. But before any affair could begin, Persephone intervened. In a fit of jealousy, she transformed Minth into the mint plant. This tale serves multiple purposes. It explains the origin of mint, demonstrates Persephone's power as queen of the underworld, and shows that even the rulers of the dead could succumb to very human emotions like jealousy and desire. The ancient Greeks had a complex relationship with Hades. While they feared death and the underworld, they also recognized the necessity of Hades' role in maintaining cosmic order. Sacrifices to Hades were made at night, with black animals offered to appease him. Unlike the Olympian gods who received burnt offerings, sacrifices to Hades were often buried whole, symbolizing his dominion over all that lies beneath the earth. Temples dedicated to Hades were few compared to those of other gods, and were often built in places associated with entrances to the underworld, such as caves or volcanic regions. One of the most famous was at Eleusis, where the Eleusinian mysteries, secret religious rites focused on the afterlife, were performed. These rites, which honored Demeter and Persephone, also acknowledged Hades' role in the cycle of life, death, and rebirth. Hades played a role in several heroic myths, often as an obstacle to be overcome or a power to be reckoned with. When Heracles was tasked with capturing Cerberus as one of his 12 laborers, he had to negotiate directly with Hades. The god agreed to let Heracles borrow the fearsome dog, provided he could subdue it without weapons. This challenge showcases Hades' sense of fairness. He didn't outright refuse the hero, but set a difficult condition that respected the sanctity of his realm. The myth of Orpheus and Eurydice provides another glimpse into Hades' character. When the gifted musician Orpheus journeyed to the underworld to retrieve his deceased wife, Eurydice, he managed to move Hades with his music. Touched by Orpheus' devotion and artistry, Hades agreed to let Eurydice return to the world of the living, under the condition that Orpheus not look back until they both reached the surface. The portrayal of Hades in art and literature has evolved over time. In ancient Greek art, he was often depicted as a mature, bearded man, similar in appearance to his brothers Zeus and Poseidon. He was frequently shown enthroned, holding a staff or scepter, symbolizing his dominion over the dead. The helm of darkness and Cerberus were also common elements in his iconography. In later periods, particularly under Roman influence, Hades began to be associated more strongly with the wealth of the earth. This led to depictions of him holding or surrounded by precious metals and gems, emphasizing his role as the god of subterranean riches. The abduction of Persephone became a popular subject in both sculpture and painting, dramatizing the moment when the stern god of the underworld was overcome by love. However, a more nuanced understanding of his myths reveals a god who was essential to the cosmic order, neither good nor evil, but a neutral force ensuring the balance between life and death. Modern reinterpretations of Greek mythology, such as in literature and graphic novels, have begun to explore this more complex version of Hades, presenting him as a multifaceted character with depths beyond the traditional god of the dead label. The ancient Greek conception of the afterlife, with its complex geography and moral judgments, continues to influence our cultural imagination. The idea of an underworld ruler weighing the deeds of the deceased resonates across many belief systems and has inspired countless works of literature and art. In psychology, the figure of Hades has been used to explore themes of the unconscious mind, hidden desires, and the human relationship with death. Carl Jung, in his work on archetypes, associated Hades with the shadow self, the hidden, often repressed aspects of our psyche. The environmental aspect of Hades' domain, his control over the riches beneath the earth, also resonates with modern concerns. As we grapple with issues of resource extraction and its impact on the planet, The myth of Hades reminds us of the delicate balance between utilizing the Earth's bounty and respecting its hidden realms. In conclusion, Hades stands as one of the most enigmatic and misunderstood figures in Greek mythology. His domain over death made him a figure of fear and awe for the ancient Greeks, while his role as the keeper of subterranean wealth added another layer to his complex persona, from his contentious rise to power to his abduction of Persephone. From his fair governance of the dead to his rare interactions with the living, Hades' myths paint a picture of a god as deep and mysterious as the underworld he ruled. Hades embodies the inevitability of death, the hope for justice beyond life, and the hidden riches that lie beneath the surface, both literal and metaphorical. His myths remind us that death is a part of life, that true justice is blind to moral status, and that sometimes the most valuable things are hidden from sight. In a world that often tries to deny death and glorify visible success, the story of Hades offers a potent counterpoint. Lastly, remember that sharing the story of Hades is more than just retelling an ancient tale. It's an opportunity to explore our own attitudes towards death, justice, and the unseen aspects of existence. Discuss with friends and family how these age-old stories still resonate with our modern lives. You might be surprised at how a god from ancient Greece can spark relevant and meaningful conversations about life, death, and everything in between.